Resolution 9, approval of the intergovernmental cooperation agreement with the City of Titusville pertaining to Titusville Leisure Services Commission.
So moved.
I have a motion and a second. Thank you. Comments?
I could review quick the actual resolution that you have in front of you. As you all had at the prior meeting, you had a draft of the agreement. We did make changes. I think there was a suggestion made by Mr. O'Neill. We put that in there. It was reviewed by the solicitor. Solicitor made a few changes, nothing significant.
What was that change, John?
Mr. O'Neill asked for, instead of, it was on page 4, it was talking about accounting of pool revenues. He simply wanted it to say swimming pool revenues. It was a fairly minor change there. The resolution that was drafted by the solicitor effectively just restates the key points that are in the inter-cooperation agreement with the city. It talks about the terms and conditions, the duration of 5 years, the relist purposes and objectives, the manner and extent of financing, talks about the structure, the fact that they can own real property and personal property and dispose of it as well, and the fact that they will have the power to hire, obviously, their own employees and purchase insurance to cover those employees. So nothing material-wise has changed from last time. While this is a 5-year agreement, the financing in it is only established for the next year and a half, effectively. And the first 6 months, which, depending when the commission's up and running and this agreement is finalized, would be $47,500 in the first year, and then the final year, the full year amount is $95,000. That's the summary. I'd be glad to answer any questions about that.
You have a comment?
Yeah, I do. You won't hear anything new from me. I'm against the Titusville School District funding Legion Services, as you all know, I guess. It's a worthwhile program. I've participated in a lot of things myself, but we got a lot of worthwhile programs out there for kids. Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, YMCA, YWCA, churches all over the town, food banks. You can go on, and just because they do something for children isn't a reason that the school district should fund it, I don't think. How much do we fund? Well, we fund a lot. In the 4 short years that I've been here, it's upward of $600,000 that's found its way to Leisure Services. Every 7 years, $1 million go down there. And I'm against that. I think that school funds should be spent on school, for school purposes. Now this document here, it'll take 10 years to get $1 million down there. And I don't find that is good. I don't think it should be that way. You know, at one of the meetings, a person asked me, well, what would you do with that money if we didn't give it to Leisure Services? And I gave 3 reasons right off the top of my head. I said I would not increase class size. I would not lay off school employees, and that I would not freeze wages if I had that money. Now, every year there's upwards of $150,000 that goes to Leisure Services. What could we do with that money? Well, for the first thing, we could reduce taxes if we don't have any use for that money. But we have plenty of use for that money. You know, I believe that the safety of the teachers and the children are utmost, should be utmost in our minds. You know, I think the time is coming around when we should be considering a full-time armed resource officer. And I know that's gonna cost a pile of money, but I think it could go well in that area. What about technology? By the time you get some in here, it's obsolete, and you always have to get more technology of some sort. The third thing, and a lot of you teachers ought to be worrying about this, is that pensions. It's unsustainable the way it's going now, so things that I read anyhow. We had some greedy politicians back in '01 that decided to give themselves a 50% retirement gift. And they gave the other people a 25% increase. But they did not fund it. And we've heard Sean talk about it many times, you know, about this being unfunded. If I was young and a teacher, I'd worry about, is that pension going to be there when I get ready for it? You already know that probably Social Security isn't going to be. So that's another place we could put that money. And the fourth thing I have here, we're in negotiations with teachers and support staff. Is that going to be completed without any outlay of money? Of course it isn't. And so I think there's 4 places that this poor dumb country boy came up with that we need. And is a better place in one of these 4 places, or is it a better place in leisure services that goes through money pretty quickly? Yeah, I know the document that you have in front of you says that it'll take 10 years to give them $1 million. Well, within 10 years' time, things are going to raise, and I bet it'll be closer to 8 years' time. According to this document, to me it's incomplete. We should put an amount down for each year that we're going to write that contract for. And as you know, I'm in favor of a 3-year contract, not a 5-year contract. I want to get it over with and done. I want to help them with this commission and then get away from it. How do we in good conscience tax the property owners for school purposes and then bankroll the Recreation Commission? I don't think we can. You can't look those taxpayers in the eye and admit that. You know, this money comes to us by a lot of sacrifice from some people, most people out there. It's a hard time coming back that tax, or coming by that tax money. I think we should use that school tax money for school purposes. And that is the gist of everything that I want to say, but I'll leave you with this. Board members, I ask you to reject this document in front of you. We've got too many places that needed funding, that need funding. I'll leave you with this. We are school directors, and schools are our responsibility. We are not park directors, and funding games is not our responsibility. Thank you, Mr. Filter.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that this money that we're doing is, we're cutting it from 176 down to 98 the first year and a half. Well, actually 45 and 98, but after that it's going to go down. because I'm gonna be on the commission, so. And you know I don't like to raise taxes, so I'm not raising taxes.
You don't like to spend money.
I want out of it completely. I don't think the school district has any business giving them any money, let alone thousands upon thousands of dollars.
I just think that you said that our responsibility is the school. Well, the kids are the school. Our responsibility is to the youth of this community. I believe that first and foremost. And the whole picture. You know, I think the whole picture is important. And I mean, I know we're responsible for the school and the buildings and the personnel, but we're responsible for the youth of this community. That's what we're here for. And if we're not here for that, we're here for the wrong reason. That's just my opinion.
Well, I agree with you totally. We're here for kids. I was here for kids. And I think there's got to be a limit, though, what we can tax those property owners for.
I'm one of those. I'm well aware of that. Yeah. As I sit here, I'm a taxpayer.
Okay, good. Anybody else?
Well, the other thing that I want to say about it, seeing that I probably attend every sporting event and everything in this town, and I have done it from the time that everybody was down at leisure services, from the time the kids are here. You keep a lot of kids that have family problems, and there's a lot of them now. You all know that better than I do. But you keep kids in school sometimes because of their activities, because of their sports, because of the... Sean, tell me how much we get per kid that's in school from all our funds.
From all of our funds.
Yes.
I don't have a number on me right now, so a lot of money.
Well, it's the 67%.
I mean, our tuition rate for regular ed is about $9,000.
Okay,
Around
but
Donna.
isn't it about $13,000 a kid that we get from all our sources?
You added in all the
About
other
14.
That's what I'm asking. It's about $13,000, $14,000 we get from all our sources. Okay, you take one or kid or 20 of them that were involved with sports or activities like that are staying in school, and you look at, if you're going to only look at that financially, that is a big help, all our activities, whether it be leisure services. My kids went through it, my grandkids, so did everybody else's. And if that's, and we do things right here in Titusville. I don't care whether it's finance, I don't care whether it's a school, I don't care what it is. We do it right. Is it going to be right to take away all this leisure services for all these little kids now, and most of them are either single-parent families or things like that? I think we have to look at the total picture before we say we're going to give up leisure services. And I think you need the school district to have part of that control. That's my thoughts on that thing. I mean, it isn't that we're taken away from other things to put to the leisure services. I don't think that will ever happen, because we have the best of everything here in Titusville. You go to the state conference, they'll tell you that. So what I'm saying here with this right now, to write this off right now, and every economy is in trouble all over the whole United States, but I think
World.
to leave this go, well, the United States worse than the world. But the bottom line is, I think to give this up now and not say we're not going to fund it or we're not going to do it, I think you're making a mistake.
Don, it's easy to figure out what we spend per student. Our budget's $28 million. We've got about 2,000 kids there yard. And I know in the strategic plan they have operational costs and educational costs and that, but the bottom line is we spend $14,000 per kid per year on the average. I don't think we're miserly a bit. I think that's quite a hunk of money. And as far as kids needing activities, how many extracurricular activities in a school could have twice the number of kids that are now enrolled in? I'll bet you if Mario, the band guy, I'll bet you if he would get 75 kids more, he'd be happy. There's room for them there. There's very few of our extracurricular activities that reject kids. They can be busy from morning till night without leisure
If
service.
they can get here and get back.
Huh?
If they can get here from home and get back.
Well, leisure services doesn't provide transportation.
Well, I appreciate all the comments. I mean, I know it's all true heartfelt, and when we have to reach a decision, I'm gonna say one other thing that I think, I've been on this ad hoc committee, I think we've hammered it out in a professional manner. I think we've addressed the concerns that the board has brought to us, that, you know, it's not perpetuity, it's not forever. The idea is to have them eventually get to being a self-sustaining commission. That will be their goal and mission, and I respect that Ron wants to, you know, represent us on that, and because he's been very instrumental along with Sean in hammering out these details of just the initial contract. So right now, I'm supporting it. End of my discussion. Anything else? I'm going to call the vote. All in favor is aye.
Aye.
And opposed is nay.
Nay.
Thank you, that vote carries.